All right, good morning, everybody. Excuse me. How's everyone doing? Happy Sunday. It's halfway through my streaming week. We're actually heading into the second half of my streaming week here today. And I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're ready for another fun day of full new game release streaming. Some pretty good stuff today that we'll be doing on stream. I'm pretty excited for today's streams, for sure. I hope that you guys are in a good mood. I hope you're all having a good weekend so far. Today is Sunday, the 10th of October, 2021. Jasper is here on the floor with me with his eyes closed. He's in the bread position. He looks like a big loaf of bread with his paws tucked under him, under the front. And he's got his tail wrapped around the underside of his body. So he looks like a delicious loaf of fresh bread. Only you wouldn't eat cat bread. It's ridiculous. He's right here on the floor. Yes, Cat is at work. So Jasper will be here for the entirety of the stream today. Don't know if he'll behave or not. I don't think he's actually been in here for an Alan Wake stream yet. Or at least he hasn't been here very long. Usually he'd come in at the tail end of one. So I wonder if anything on the screen would get his attention, right? So, hello. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good weekend. Whether you've been tuning into my streams or not. We certainly had an eventful weekend here. We had one day full of glitches in Alan Wake, right? Complete nonsensical, ghostly, haunted stuff. At this point, I do feel that the Alan Wake remaster is haunted after what we went through on Friday. That was pretty ridiculous. And then, yesterday, I had some fun Far Cry stuff. You know, last night I tweeted on my Twitter, they call me DSP. I said, I really don't understand people who are basically slamming Far Cry 6 at this point. Because, for me, okay, I'm playing this game, and you know me, I try to approach everything with an open mind, and I try to approach everything fairly. I'm not going to go in with preconceived notions. I'm not going to go in with, all these kind of bias. So I go into Far Cry 6. Now, I've played every Far Cry. Let me call that out. I've played every single one. The only one I didn't play was the expansion for 5. That they released not even a year after the release of the original Far Cry 5, because I felt like it was just more of the same, which it was. It was a ripoff. They're basically charging you for a new game when it wasn't a new game. It was the same exact game with a skin over it. But outside of that, I've played every single Far Cry game. Far Cry 1 through 5 and Primal. So, plus Blood Dragon. So I've played like every Far Cry game. All right, I've been there, done that. I know the formula. I've seen the series evolve over time, if you can even call it that. Because, let's be honest, this game doesn't evolve that much, right? It pretty much stays true to a formula that seems to work because every time Far Cry gets a new release, it sells like hotcakes. All right? There's no denying that. Every time Far Cry releases, it sells. If it didn't, they wouldn't keep pumping them out, right? So, there definitely seem to be two different schools of thought on Far Cry 6. One school of thought is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hey, if you keep pumping out the same style of game and it keeps selling well and people seem to like it, then why change it? On the flip side of that, some people are basically saying we're tired of it. It's the same thing for the 6th time. Actually, in reality, it's the same thing for about the 8th or 9th time if you count the expansions. And people are basically upset at this game, saying it's too similar to the previous outings, okay? So here's the deal. I'm playing Far Cry 6. I'm 6 hours in. Here's my opinion on it after 6 hours. Best graphics I've ever seen in a Far Cry. Now, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X, which is the newly added HD textures pack, and the game is running beautifully, and it looks gorgeous, okay? Lush island visuals, so many, plants and things moving in the breeze. The wildlife is cool. Everything. I can't even say a negative thing about the graphics. They're good as shit, okay? They're so good. A protagonist that actually has a personality and voice lines instead of a silent protagonist, which is one of the major complaints about Far Cry 5. Now we got a protagonist that actually has a character to him or her. I picked her because that was the default. I assume that's the character they wanted, is they wanted a female. Okay? Gameplay mechanics. The most refined of any Far Cry game I've ever played. Easy to jump into, easy to understand. However, has nuances and complications to the point where you're going to want to go a little bit further in than just rushing in and doing silly shit. You can modify your weapons now, which wasn't a thing previously, but now you can add all these different kinds of mods to weapons that make them better, or add actual things like damage over time and stuff like that. You know, customizing your loadout is a huge thing in this game that wasn't necessarily a huge thing in previous Far Cry games. The base takeovers now feel more unique because unlike every previous Far Cry game where it was like, okay, it's an outpost with a tower, kill all the guys, climb the tower. Now every base seems unique and different. The way that they're laid out, the way that the treasure's in them, okay, it's pretty cool. The story, so far it's good. Admittedly, very similar to the story of most other Far Cry games, but I would argue has more unique characters and interesting things to it early on. Like other Far Cry games, you play like 10 hours, 15 hours in, and you've run into maybe like 5 unique NPCs that are cool. In this game, I've already run into a ton, right? All these different characters with their own personalities and little side stories. It's kind of interesting, and I feel so far, you know, the characters are well written. Is the main story overall well written? Well, it's pretty much the same story of every Far Cry game, admittedly. At the same time, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's the same. The way I would compare this is like, let me put it this way. You guys probably have played great trilogies of games over time, right? You played Halo 1 through 3. You played God of War 1 through 3. You know what I mean? Now, each game in those franchises usually improves upon the previous iteration, right? Refines the gameplay, better graphics, continuing story, etc., right? When you're playing God of War 3, would you argue that it's not a very good game because it's too similar to God of War 2? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm seeing here with Far Cry 6. Is it similar to the previous games? Absolutely, it's the same formula. But it's the best graphics, the most refined gameplay, a great story. Like, everything about the game has been fine-tuned and tweaked to be the best it's ever been. It would be one thing if literally it was identical to Far Cry 5. It's definitely not. It's got new additions. It's got things that have been improved that it is not the same game, okay? Is it the same formula? Absolutely. But it's definitely not Far Cry 5. I can tell you right now, 6 hours into Far Cry 6, I'm having more fun than when I was 6 hours into Far Cry 5. But you see what I'm saying? If you're making this argument that every sequel is the same as the game before it, you might as well say that these franchises should just end after the first game. You know? Now, admittedly, with Far Cry, this is 6 games. So you might say, okay, this is ridiculous now. 6 games and they're all the same formula. But at the very same time, absolutely this game has improvements. If you're saying this game has no improvements, you're literally ignoring the improvements for the sake of making an argument that's an invalid argument. Okay? Now, you can argue, okay, it has improvements, but they don't add much. That's different. But actually saying, oh, it's the same game, that's actually false. The game has definitive changes and improvements to it this time around that make it feel fresh. I definitely feel that having the customizable weapons with these new add-ons like poison browns and stuff, and the armor that has different perks and stuff, it makes it feel different. The companions as well. I'm not saying there weren't companions in previous games, but having all these silly animal companions is kind of funny too. You know, it definitely adds to the game. I'm certainly not saying they haven't innovated much. They didn't. They definitely stuck to the formula that they know works, but they put effort into this. This isn't like, oh, we copy pasted on our PC and here's a new game. No, they actually tried. They genuinely tried, I feel. What I actually feel like is they wanted Far Cry 6 to be a throwback to Far Cry 1. Going back to tropical islands like exactly how Far Cry 1 was, but now implementing all of the changes they've done over 6 games, right? So it feels like you're playing Far Cry 1 how it was meant, or maybe like the culmination of where they wanted it to go. You see what I'm saying? And I like it so far. I am having a good time. There's so much stuff to do. You can take over a base. You can do a story-based mission where you run into some unique characters and have some interesting objectives to do. You could do side content. You could expand your settlements. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to do in the game. It's not just, oh, just take over bases constantly. That's good. I've already got, 6 hours in, I got the wingsuit. Now I can travel around more easily. I can, like, zip down into certain areas and stuff. And it's really neat. I'm having a good time with it. So, for me, when I hear criticisms like, well, it's the same game from Ubisoft, I'm like, you know what? If you want to argue that argument, you really should argue it towards other franchises. Like, for example, Assassin's Creed has literally released the same game 3 times with a few tweaks. It's absolutely true. If you play Assassin's Creed Valhalla and you compare that to Assassin's Creed Origins, there's not much of a difference at all. It's actually got almost the same combat mechanics. It's got the same bird mechanics to see stuff. The same traversal. Like, everything's almost exactly the same. The setting is the major difference. But if you compare to the same thing with Far Cry 6, I disagree. I think that's false. I think that this is them actively trying to make the franchise better, and I don't like seeing people pan a game for the sake of jumping on a bandwagon when they don't have any valid arguments. Like, I asked on Twitter last night, why would you say you don't like this game, or what's wrong with this game? Oh, it's the same game from Ubisoft. Well, did you actually play it? No. Okay, so then you don't know. All you did is you heard other people, basically kind of attack the game in reviews. You didn't fucking play the game, so you don't actually even know if it's different or not. Right? So anyway, I'm really enjoying Far Cry 6. I had a good time with it yesterday. I'm looking forward to more of it tomorrow on the main gameplay stream. I hope you guys will join me for that. But anyway, so Alan Wake is going well. Interesting, suspenseful plot. And Far Cry 6 is growing on me the more I play it. I'm having a good time with it. Okay? So I hope that you guys are enjoying all the stuff that I'm doing here over the weekend. Okay? Let's talk. Let's talk about what's coming up today. Today's an interesting day. So today is Alan Wake Remastered continuing on. We're actually starting up what's considered Episode 3, because the game is episodic, the way that it splits up the chapters. Excuse me. Alan is now on the run. The cops are after him. I don't know why. I don't know why the cops are after him, because we don't have any evidence that he did anything wrong, but apparently the cops are after him. So, there you go. He's on the run, and he's got to escape, and we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if he can get away from the cops. I actually don't remember much of the plot in the middle of this game. I actually remember the end of the game, but I don't remember the middle at all. So I have no idea what's coming up in the plot next. Okay, which is good. I only played this game once 11 years ago. And not to say that the game it wasn't memorable. It absolutely was. But it's cool now to replay it 11 years later and to be reimagining or experiencing this story again for a second time. Now, I'm having a lot of fun with this. However, I really hope we don't run into any more game bugs. That game bug on Friday almost ended the playthrough. It was so bad, right? It was it was almost, game crippling. I had to glitch the glitch in order to cross this gap to continue on. And if I didn't glitch the glitch, that was the end. There was no way to fix it. So people are saying that they're stuck at that part and they're literally sitting around waiting for a patch to continue with the game. Okay? So, for me, I hope we don't get any more crazy bugs like that. Although, admittedly, man, it was pretty fun. It was a silly thing, right? It was. It was silly. I feel like the game was haunted, right? Now, one other, I'm going to keep saying this every time I play Alan Wake, guys, so I hope you'll listen up. Unlike other playthroughs, Alan Wake, I opted to leave the licensed music in the playthrough because I feel that the licensed music really adds to the game. Okay? I do. It's the atmosphere of the game, and also some of the songs actually have to do with the plot of the game. I really felt like leaving the music in made sense. However, because I've left that music in, all of the videos of the Alan Wake playthrough are getting claimed on YouTube for copyright, and I'm making no money on the playthrough on YouTube at all. Now, do I make a ton of money on ad revenue on YouTube? No, I do not. Okay, just admittedly, I do not make much money on ad revenue. However, number one, this time of year, there's more ads and more profitable ads on YouTube than there is the rest of the year. So right now is usually when I make better ad revenue on YouTube because it is this time of year that we're heading into the holidays and there's more ads to go around. In addition to that, it's not a lot, but it adds up. And what I mean by that is, yeah, I put out a video on YouTube, it runs a few ads, I make a couple bucks. But with all the videos I got on YouTube, it adds up to at least be some supplemental income for me. It's important that I get that income. For Alan Wake, I have foregone that income for the sake of the playthrough. Okay? So, if you are enjoying the Alan Wake Remastered playthrough, if you're watching it on demand on YouTube, not on stream, please check out the description of the videos And please contribute in another way. Whether that be sending me a tip, whether it's during a live stream or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's pledging to my Patreon, maybe buying something off my Teespring store. Whatever it may be, it all helps. And I really appreciate those who have gone out of their way. There's been 2 people so far who specifically reached out to me and said, hey, I'm contributing because I want to help you out here. You know, I want to help you out so that way, you know, you're making something on this playthrough, unlike all your others, okay? Fair enough. I really appreciate people who are doing that, okay? Now, if you're here live on stream and you're enjoying the playthrough as well, by all means, please contribute too, because, as you know, I'm not making anything behind the scenes on the videos, you know? It's not like it usually is. So, if you like the playthrough, you like the fact I'm doing it this way, please support it, okay? Alright, so there you go. That is a major stream of Alan Wake today. After today, we'll be around 9 hours in. We'll see how far we get today, okay? Later tonight, the late stream tonight, at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Time, is the conclusion of Hades, a playthrough that I've been doing ever since the game came out for Xbox Game Pass way back in August, okay? Now, I really enjoyed Hades. I'll be honest with you guys. I was skeptical, especially after having played Returnal earlier this year and being told, oh, this is what a roguelike game is, okay? But after playing through Returnal and basically saying I didn't really like it that much, and then playing Hades and actually seeing the potential of what a real roguelike game can be, my eyes have been opened. Hades, in my opinion, is twice as good as Returnal. I'm not even exaggerating. I actually feel that, oh my god, look at that jump scare on the stream. I actually feel that Hades is twice as good of a game as Returnal. I seriously believe that. Returnal seems to ignore all of the lessons that Hades would have taught you about what's a good roguelike game, and made a game that just was completely subpar. I would argue the only better thing about Returnal is the graphics. Outside of that, the story's worse, the core gameplay elements are worse, and yes, even the roguelike elements are worse. Okay? So now, here we are, over 35 hours into my run of Hades. We are in the 10th run right now, meaning I'm well on my way to actually getting my 10th completion, my 10th clear. Supposedly, from what I'm to understand, without spoilers, because I was not spoiled, thank God, I guess what happens is when you clear the game the 10th time, you get the story conclusion. Alright, now what does that mean? It means that essentially the whole storyline you've been doing the whole game, where it was, oh, you were trying to get to your mother, find out what really happened with Persephone and why she left the underworld, and see what's going on. All that apparently finally comes to a conclusion, okay? And that's good. I've been playing for 35 hours. I'd like an actual conclusion to the story, all right? But that being said, apparently the game's not over. Apparently, if you really like Returnal and you're hooked... Actually, I said Returnal. Oh, God. Apparently, if you really like Hades and you're hooked on the gameplay loop, you could keep going. And apparently, there's more to do in the game. Now, the truth is, there is tons. I mean, there's so many weapon builds, right? Isn't it 5 different weapon builds? And on top of that, on top of the weapon builds, there's all the different aspect builds you can get, right? So each weapon, on top of the base weapon, has like 3 or 4 other builds. So you can potentially play this game, I would argue, for hundreds of hours before you see every weapon build, right? So, I'm really having a good time here with the game. I really enjoyed playing it. I definitely could see myself in a future date, if I wanted something for downtime, going back to Hades and continuing on. Now, I don't know how much more plot the game could possibly have after you beat the main storyline, but from what people are saying, there definitely is more, you know? You definitely could. You could go back and keep replaying it and get more story elements, more gameplay elements, and you'll really like the game at length. So, if that's the case, maybe I will go back to Hades at some point, okay? But for now, I mean, I've played the game for 35 freaking hours. What I'd like to see is essentially the story conclusion tonight. Now, it is a 2-hour stream tonight, and I'm already partially into my 10th run. So that being said, I may beat it sooner rather than later, and if I do, I'll just keep playing. I'll actually go into maybe another run, try another aspect, or do something just as a nice send-off for the game. So there will be a full 2-hour stream of Hades tonight, regardless of how quickly it takes me to get that 10th clear. I'll do my best, and then we'll see what happens where the night takes us, okay? But for all intents and purposes, tonight is the conclusion of my Returnal playthrough. Excuse me, I keep saying Returnal. Tonight is the conclusion of my Hades playthrough. I'm not going to be playing it regularly in the schedule any further at this point, okay? After this, what's going to happen is the night streams are going to be composed of either Lost Judgment, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, or Street Fighter, okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because in the last week, I actually got many people who reached out to me and who were disappointed with me. They were. They were very disappointed with me. They were wagging their fingers at me in disapproval, very upset. And I don't like to upset my viewers. I'm happy to entertain them and make them put a smile on their face. And many people over the last week contacted me personally and said, Phil, you are disappointing us in the highest degree. And you might say, well, why am I disappointing my viewing audience? Well, it's because, basically, I haven't been playing Lost Judgment at all. Like, I didn't even realize this. It was been a week since I had played Lost Judgment last when I played it last night. I didn't even realize that at all. Like, I was like, seriously? It's been a whole freaking week since I played this game? That's not good. Number one, Lost Judgment is a great game. I'm having a ton of fun with it. Admittedly, when I play Lost Judgment, it doesn't bring mainstream viewership. I'm not going to get tons of viewers to watch me play Lost Judgment. It's for a smaller audience. It's for a more reserved audience who like to chill with me. And that's why I feel like the game does fit more into the night streams than the daytime streams. And in addition to that, it's for an audience that just like that Japanese style of game. You know, the games that have come out from this studio like Yakuza and Judgment. They like that style of game. They want to see me play it. But admittedly, it's not super action-packed. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of side content. And so it is more of a relaxing stream than anything else. Okay? So after only playing Lost Judgment once in the last week, many people reached out to me and said, Phil, we are so disappointed in you as a streamer. We can't believe that you would have basically ignored this amazing game. A game that, admittedly, you might think is one of the best games of the year. You know, Judgment 2 years ago was the summertime hit for me. I played it long-term over the course of the summer of 2019, and it ended up being candidate for Game of the Year for me. And now here I am 2 years later, and I'm not even playing the sequel. I'm basically ignoring it, playing all these other games instead. And people really kind of gave it to me this week, saying, what's your problem? Like, what are you doing? You're losing your way here. We tune into you to watch you play the games that other people don't play. There's not a lot of content creators out there that are going to do a long-form playthrough of Lost Judgment. And we want to see you do it, and you're disappointing us in a huge way. Okay? So I took that to heart. I did. You guys are right. I absolutely should be doing a better job of balancing the games that I'm playing. It just so happens this week was a rough week because people really wanted to see the Battlefield beta. And that took up a night stream. And, of course, I'm trying to finish Hades. So between those games, those are taking up night streams for me when I be focusing in on other games, you see. But that's an excuse, and I apologize. I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm just going to tell you guys I'm sorry, and I promise to do better. So I made a commitment to you. Last night on the stream, if you were here for Lost Judgment, I made a commitment, okay? And the commitment is thus. I will be playing Lost Judgment at least 2 times, if not 3 times a week moving forward. It will now be my major focus on the late streams. And if you tuned in last night, we had a really great stream last night. It was 2 hours of chill fun. We made major progress in the school stories. We actually did tons of stuff in the robotics, and we unlocked the skateboarding, and we did a whole bunch of the skateboarding stuff to get started. I was like, wow, this is fun. I like the variety of the side content in Lost Judgment. All these different clubs are completely and utterly different from each other. So I'm having a great time, and I was like, it sucked for me because I finished the stream, and I felt bittersweet because I was like, man, that was a great stream, but I wish it was still going. I wish it wasn't over because I had so much fun playing the game. So I cannot wait. There will be another Lost Judgment stream coming up Tuesday night, and it's going to be a major part of the schedule moving forward, okay? So again, I apologize. There hasn't been a lot of Lost Judgment. I'm going to make up for that in the coming weeks, okay? So tonight, I'm finishing Hades on the late stream. That playthrough is now complete. I may go back to it at a future date if I'm looking for a chill game to maybe continue on with new builds and see what else is left in the game after the main story conclusion. But as of tonight, for all intents and purposes, the playthrough's over, so we can focus on Lost Judgment, okay? Okay, tomorrow, Monday, Far Cry 6 continues on the mainstream, and quite frankly, I can't wait. I'm really, really enjoying this game, and I can't wait to see what more stuff we unlock and do tomorrow. So I hope you'll join me for that. And then tomorrow night is the return of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Now, here's another one, right? Here's another game. I've only played it once in the last week. Yeah, I've been, again, so busy with the night streams of other stuff that I didn't play Monkey Ball at all this week. Every time I play Monkey Ball, it's pretty damn chaotic. So I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. I'm in World 6 of 10, so we still got quite a ways to go to beat the game. And the game is getting way more hard and way more challenging and difficult the more I play it. So tomorrow night, late stream Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, okay? Then on Tuesday, which is my final consecutive streaming day of the week, it is the premiere of Back 4 Blood on Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass. I'm excited because I played the beta, and the beta didn't really work fully. So I didn't get to play much of the main story campaigns. The little bit that I did, I thought was good. It had a ginormous boss monster that I thought was really unique and interesting. And the multiplayer that I played, I thought was okay, but I felt like it was only a taste of what the multiplayer is really going to be. Like, I felt like they purposely held back from including all the features and creatures and things that will be in the multiplayer because they didn't want you to get spoiled on what it's going to be in the main game. So I'm actually excited for the premiere on Tuesday to see what actually is in the main meat of this game. Okay? And then Tuesday night, as I've already stated, it'll be a late night stream of Lost Judgment to end my streaming week. So to recap, today, Alan Wake Remastered, and tonight, the conclusion of Hades. Tomorrow, Far Cry 6 and Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. And then Tuesday, Back 4 Blood's premiere and a late night stream of Lost Judgment. Now, I'm off from streaming on Wednesday. When I return on Thursday, we're just going to alternate between these again. Now, depending on how Back 4 Blood goes, I may play it again right away on Thursday when I come back from break. If not, then we'll just rotate through. We'll do Alan Wake, Far Cry, Back 4 Blood. But I'm thinking people might want to see 2 streams of Back 4 Blood, because in one stream I may not even be able to see all the main stuff in the game. Okay? Now, this week's night streams. Thursday night will be Lost Judgment. Friday night will be Street Fighter. Saturday night will be Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Sunday night will be Lost Judgment. Monday night will be Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. And Tuesday will be Lost Judgment. Now, I haven't 100% confirmed if Wednesday's my next day off. I have to check with my wife. I've completely forgot to do that. She should have her schedule for the next week as of today. So when she gets home tonight, I'll confirm with her. But those would basically be the night streams. And the day streams, like I said, they'll just be alternating between the 3 new releases. Okay? The good news is this next week, there are no new releases that I'm interested in. This is good news, because this means I can focus in on all the games I'm playing and make significant progress. I won't have to hold up playing one of these new games to play another new release. Okay? The next new release that's coming out that I'm interested in is the Dark Pictures Anthology House of Ashes, which is the 3rd game in this Dark Pictures horror anthology. And this game is coming out on the 22nd, so that actually gives us about a week and a half to focus on these games before we have a new release, okay? That's a good thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got other stuff going on too. Right now, ladies and gents, it is your absolute last chance to nominate games for the Halloween event. That is correct. The absolute last chance. Okay? Why? Because later today, during the break between streams, I'm going to make myself some delicious turkey tacos. But when I'm done with that and I clean up in the kitchen, I'm coming up here to the office early, and I'm going to take a look at all the games you guys have nominated for the Halloween Marathon event, and I'm going to categorize them, count them up, and I'm going to create polls. Okay? First of all, how do you nominate a game? Type !Halloween into the stream chat. That will bring up the link. The link, you click on it, it'll take you to the forums. You can post up games you want to nominate for the Halloween event. Doesn't have to be horror. Could be other games, although horror games are appreciated for the variety of Halloween. You know, having some horror in there will probably work out nicely. Okay? So that being said, all those nominations will be tallied up, and I will create a poll that I will then put on my forums, and the Halloween command will then become the poll rather than the nominations thread, so you guys can start to vote on what games you want to see on Halloween. Now, in addition to that, people who are channel members, that's people who joined the channel to support me, also have been nominating games on a priority basis through a community post that I did a couple weeks ago. I'm going to tally up those nominations and create a separate poll for them. okay? So there will be 2 different polls on my community tab. One will be open for everyone to vote, and one will be just for members to vote. So 2 different polls for games for the Halloween event, all right? Whatever wins the members poll will be guaranteed to be in the Halloween event. So the members get to pick one of the games in the Halloween event for sure. And then the other games will be determined by the open poll on the community tab that everyone will vote on. Okay? So I'm pretty excited to see what you guys nominated and what ends up getting voted in for the Halloween event. Okay? I really hope people didn't put stupid shit up that I told them not to, like fucking Street Fighter V. I mean, you'd have to be a real stupid idiot to do that. But I guess some people probably did, I bet. I almost guarantee they did. I guess we'll see. Okay. So anyway, guys. That's happening today, okay? I'm doing all that today during the break between the streams. So I hope you guys will come back, tonight. And tonight, everything should be in effect. You guys should be able to start voting, whether you're a member or not, on the games that will be played during the Halloween Marathon event, okay? Now, in addition to that, I'm also going to be setting up a poll. You guys are going to be voting on the category of Halloween costume that I will be wearing during the Halloween event. Categories this year are as follows: comic book character, pop culture, fantasy, or Phil's choice. Why those categories? Because I've been to the Halloween stores around here. I've seen what's available this year. And out of those options, I found some really good ones. Like, no matter what category you guys vote on of those, I can get a really good Halloween costume, I feel. So that's why I'm saying, those are the 4 categories. No matter what you vote, it'll be a good one. But I'm curious to see what you guys would be interested in having me wear for Halloween, okay? So that poll will also be going live. I hope I have time to set that up for tonight. If not, definitely in the next couple days, I'll have that set up so that you guys can, can vote and have a part in that, okay? Now, in addition to all of that, there's more coming up for the Halloween event. There's going to be a special episode of Feasting with the King that takes place on the Halloween Marathon event, right? There's so much going on. It's pretty crazy fun, okay? So, during the Halloween event, I'll be ordering some kind of food to be delivered to the house that I've never really tried before. Currently, I'm thinking Filipino, Thai, or Mexican cuisines would all make sense. Although I may think of another one. You guys are going to be able to eventually vote, probably the week before. You'll be voting on the cuisine you want to see me try during the event. And then that morning, when the marathon actually starts, together live, we will order the food, and it will be delivered later in the day for a live episode of Feasting with the King. Okay? Pretty cool. You might say, well, Phil, you've had Mexican food before. Of course I have. But what I would do is I would actually try something completely different I've never had before. That's the point of Feasting with the King, is trying some kind of food I've never had before. I've never had Filipino food ever. I've had Thai food, but not often. Only a few times. And Mexican food, yes, I've had, but there's tons of things on Mexican menus that I've never had. So, that's what I mean. Like, this could be pretty interesting stuff. Okay? I'm excited to see what ends up happening during this event. This is going to be a really cool event, man. The Halloween event, it's always a special thing, and I cannot wait. Okay. So there you go, my friends. That's what's going on with me in the streams. Let's do a quick gratuitous plugs segment. We got some shout outs to do today. We got some stuff to do. Let's do gratuitous plugs, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I am an independent content creator. What that means is that unlike many, many other people who make a living doing this, I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any partnerships. I'm a man alone, doing my own thing out here on the internet, okay? When you watch my streams and you watch my on-demand videos, you can rest assured that what I'm saying and doing in those videos is 100% genuine. It is not an act. It is not a paid advertisement. Because I don't have any sponsorships or partnerships, I don't have to worry about what I say and do. I don't have to pussyfoot around issues. I can be honest with you guys. I don't have to worry about, oh no, I said something that pissed a sponsor off and now I lost a bunch of money today. That'll never happen, okay? And that's a great thing. It's a really cool feeling knowing that I'm free to be honest and transparent with all of you guys on a daily basis. Many content creators cannot do that because they take paychecks behind the scenes. I don't do that, all right? But that being said, because I don't have these relationships with game publishers, because I don't have these relationships with merchandise companies, I rely on you to keep this going. It is your direct crowdfunding support that allows me to put out truly independent content. Because you can't come and tell me, Phil, I love your chill streams. I have fun with them. We have a great relaxing time together. It takes my mind off the stuff going on in the real world for a while. In addition, I use your streams as a way to judge if I want to check out a game because I can get your honest opinion and I don't have to worry about you kissing a game's butt for the sake of taking a paycheck. Same thing, flip side, I'm not going to pan a game and be a dick and be a negative jerk to try to get over amounts of attention. I'm not one of these fucking drama YouTubers who slams every fucking game to try to get attention and get views. You see, I'm honest. Right now, I'm telling you guys, I'm loving Far Cry 6. Most people will not say that. I'm having a great time with this game. And I'm not getting anything out of saying that. I'm just being honest with you guys. Okay? So that's what I do, man. And I hope that you guys like that and appreciate that. I mean, you guys tell me every day you do. That's why you support the streams, all right? So if you like this kind of unique content creation, someone actually making a living doing it, but not taking these paid sponsorships and instead being honest with you every stream, please support my efforts to keep doing this. How can you support the efforts? By contributing. How can you contribute? Let's talk about that because there are many ways that you can. First of all, you can become a channel member today. And if you become a channel member of DSP Gaming, you get many benefits, including a highlighted name in the stream chat, access to 20 emotes and growing. The more people who join, the more emote slots we unlock. You don't have to abide by the slow mode rules of the chat, which is great. You can talk as much as you want. And you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. The other cool thing is, pretty soon some people are going to be hitting their next level of supporter. You're going to see some new chat crown badges arriving soon, which has these rubies and emeralds encrusted in them. Ooh, it'll be nice. I'm excited to see those start appearing. Probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll see our first few. Okay? So that's really cool. Now, in addition to all of that, you get priority access to some of these events. People just had priority to post up their questions for my Q&A show, Ask the King, and many people who were members got them answered on the show. You guys are getting priority access to nominate games for the Halloween event. I'm going to continue to give priority perks to those who become channel members of mine, okay? As much as I possibly can. I like doing this and giving extra stuff, so that's going to continue. Now, in addition to all of that, we have membership goals in place that if we hit them, there's big celebratory events. For example, if we hit 325 members in the month of October, we're going to be doing a special stream where we go together on Amazon and we look at hats together, and together we pick and order a hat. That hat will then be added to the rotation of the hats eligible to be worn on my streams. Okay? That's pretty cool. Right? That's pretty sweet. I hope that we could do that. If we hit 350 members this month, I'll bringing back... let me try that again. I stumbled over my words. I'll be bringing back the Viewer's Choice event. The Viewer's Choice event is when you guys nominate and vote on a game. Whatever game wins ends up being a full playthrough on my streams. We have not done one of these now in many months, so it'll be exciting to bring this back into the fold and see what Viewer's Choice game you guys pick. There's been so many great games and IPs and franchises that I played over the years as a result of Viewer's Choice. I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with for this, okay? But we're going to need a lot more support this month to make it happen. As you can see, we're only at 400, I can't even speak today. 276 members. We're trying to hit 325 to get the new hat. All right? If you're not a member yet, what the hell are you waiting for? There's so many benefits, man. And by the way, it's cheaper to become a member here than it ever was over on Twitch. I lowered the price of a membership here so it's more attractive. Okay? So please, if you're not a member, please consider it. Thank you in advance. Okay? Now, if you would also like to contribute in another different way, you can do a super chat or a super sticker. If you don't know what those are ways that you can contribute directly through YouTube itself. When you do those, all right, you get a highlighted message in the chat. So it's a way for you to get a little bit of shout-out attention for your contribution. Now, in regards to memberships, the super chats, the super stickers, they're all great and they help me in the long term. And what I mean by that is, behind the scenes, that adds up. And then about once a month, I get some benefit from that. It usually takes about a month to a month and a half to process, but then when I get it, it helps me, it supports me behind the scenes, okay? It's a good way to have long-term support for the channel. So I do appreciate anyone who supports in those ways. I shout out every contribution on my streams because I appreciate them so much. It is, again, you guys crowdfunding my streams, the reason that I'm able to make a living and continue to do this for a living. So thank you in advance. But, very matter-of-factly, if you really want to help me out the most, and especially over the course of this weekend, I really could appreciate if you would go out of your way to tip me. That is the best way to contribute to the streams, okay? Why is tipping me more important than memberships and super chats right now? I'll tell you why. Because number one, tips I get immediately. And right now, I am raising funds this weekend to pay 2 major bills. One of them I was already able to pay, and it did clear, which is weird because usually banks don't clear payments, but the bank did clear a payment overnight. The other one should be clearing probably on Monday, and I need funds to pay. I don't have enough yet, okay? Just being honest. This is how I pay my bills, is my tips that come in directly pay these bills that come in. So, right now, tips that you tip me, I get immediately to put towards this bill, all right? So, there you go. That's number one. That's one of the major reasons why it's important. The other thing is, when you tip me, I get more of a cut of a contribution that you do for a tip than I do of anything else, okay? No matter how you contribute on the internet, there's going to be a middleman who takes a cut, all right? Doesn't matter how you do it. But if you tip me, less of a cut is taken than if you do the other methods of contribution, you see? So, again, if you're going to contribute today, please tip me if you can. Even if you have to choose, oh man, I could become a channel member, a super chat, please tip me. Tipping is, I need help to pay these bills on Monday. So please tip me if you can. All right? Now, since tipping is so important, I have goals in effect as a way of rewarding those who tip and say thank you for your contributions and your support. If we raise $50 in tips today, I'll put on a pair of Gunner glasses. Okay? If we raise $100 in tips today, I'll put on a hat. Now, the hat choices today are as follows: the camo, the digital, and the fake hair. Why? Because I'm wearing headphones when I play Alan Wake. So I have to, wear a hat that I can actually wear headphones with. Now, soon, meaning within the next 1 to 2 weeks, I should finally be getting my new pair of headphones from Amazon. In fact, now that I'm saying this, I'm going to take a look. I have not checked on this in a while. I'd like to check in on that and actually see what's going on with that. Let's take a look. Okay, here it is. Delivery date pending. We will email you when we have the estimated delivery date. So, it's supposed to be releasing this week. Okay. I actually paid for it way back in August. Oh, no. Guess what, guys? They delayed the release of the headphones. Oh, no. Fuck. So, these headphones originally were supposed to be released around October 15th, okay? I'm checking, and it now says this item will be released on October 28th. So that's a 2-week increase delay, okay? A 2-week increase, okay? I might not even get these things till November now. God damn it. Well, it is what it is, guys. There's nothing I can do about that, okay? They're called the Hori 3D Surround Gaming Neck Set. Wearable speaker with voice chat. And there's 2 different versions of it. One is designed for Xbox Series X and S, and one is designed for PS5, although they're exactly the same product. They just look different color-wise. But they're actually identical. They're exactly the same product. They look quite comfy. They do. They look quite comfy. It looks like it's going to fit nicely around my neck, and I'm excited for it. It just sucks that it's delayed. Yeah. So now I'm probably not getting it until the end of October. That sucks. But it is what it is. I'm actually glad I checked, and that way we're not going to get disappointed. Anyway, when I get these new headphones, they're worn around the neck. I will not have to worry about limitations for hats anymore. I'll be able to wear whatever hat I want on any stream. You see? But we got to get these headphones first, and sadly now they're delayed, so hopefully they're not delayed any further. Hopefully I do get them around the end of the month. It would be cool if I could have those for Halloween. Yeah, because then it wouldn't hinder the Halloween costume at all that I wear. Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens. Okay. So anyway, guys, yes, the hat's eligible for today. The camo, the digital, and the fake hair hat, because I can actually wear those with headphones. And then, if we raise the full tips goal for today, $150, I'll put on a vest. Now, guys, here's the deal. We haven't hit a vest goal since last week. It's been basically a week now. I really need help with tips right now. So today, it would be really awesome if we could hit the tips goal today and have a vest for the first time in a week. All right? All the best vests are eligible. The red, the platinum, the gold, the denim, all your favorite vests are eligible. All right? So please consider tipping, especially if you've been holding off. Please tip today if you can. I do need the help to pay this bill tomorrow, and I would appreciate if we could hit the goal and get a vest going today. Okay? Okay. Thank you. All right. News-wise. Admittedly, there's not much gaming news to talk about. Most people over the weekend were basically talking about things such as the Battlefield beta and what they thought about it, Metroid Dread and what they think about it. Basically saying that Kotaku is a terrible fucking place, a horrible joke of games journalism, but everyone already knows that, so I don't know why we'd even discuss that. Excuse me. So, there's really not that much to talk about right now in the realm of gaming news. So instead of sitting here and beating around the bush, I think I'll just do shout-outs. Now, so far today, there's no new channel memberships and no super chats, but there have been some tips that came in, so let's get some shout-outs for those. We start off today with Guitar Player 1939, who tipped me $10. Thank you so much, Guitar Player, for the $10 tip. Let's get that started. First tip of the day. I appreciate that. And it's a good start. Good to see you, by the way. Snow Carl has tipped me $1.50 and says the following. You mentioned people tipping behind the scenes to support Alan Wake. Does it happen a lot? And maybe you should do a weekly segment where you shout out the behind the scenes tips. No, it doesn't happen a lot. Very rarely, actually. Usually, any behind the scenes tips are the ones that happen during the live stream, and I'll call those out around the break time and add it to the running total. But in general, no, I don't get a lot of behind the scenes tips at all. When I do, typically it's someone who they did it on purpose because they didn't want to get any attention because they're afraid of trolling activities. But no, there's not frequently giant tips behind the scenes. That's ridiculous. And by the way, it's none of your business anyway, but no, it doesn't happen. Okay. Rob on Wheels is here today. And he tipped me $4.20, and he says, looking forward to when you find the rooster, cockadoodle bang, motherfuckers. All right, cockadoodle bang. I don't remember what he's talking about. I guess this is something to do with Alan Wake. Unless he's talking about... Oh, wait a minute. You know, he's probably talking about Far Cry, because I think there is a rooster character in the game. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Rob, for the tip. I appreciate that. And Chicken Man tipped me $1.50. He says, are you playing Mario Party Superstars on October 29th? It might be fun in a filler game, as the first week in November does not have a major game until the second week in November. Well, here's the deal. Right now, I can tell you exactly what I am planning on doing in October. Are you ready? I'll go through it, because that way we'll clear the air here. Back 4 Blood is Tuesday. The Dark Pictures House of Ashes is October 22nd. Okay, which is... my nose itches. Which is a Friday. Then that next week is Guardians of the Galaxy on the 26th. Okay? That's really it. There is Age of Empires 4, but I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be on console or not. And quite frankly, I don't know if people are going to care about me playing a game like that. I did play Age of Empires on PC, and I thought it was an outstanding, fun franchise. But that was a very long time ago, and I don't know if for modern audiences, if anyone's going to care watch me see me play that, and I probably won't. Outside of those games, there's really not much else for October. I think there may be one or two other smaller releases, but there's not that much. Now, you're saying Mario Party comes out on the 29th. Here's the deal. Mario Party, all right, may be good or may not be good. I guess it depends on a couple factors. Number one, is there an actual campaign in the game this time around? Or is it literally just a series of party games played like a board game, right? That's going to be a determining factor on if it's something that's worth playing when you don't have people to play with locally. You know what I mean? Now, in addition, does it have online play with randomized matchmaking so you could just jump in and play these games with random people all over the internet? Or is it more like, for example, the last Mario and Sonic Olympic Games game? Remember there was a Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympic Games, but then the 2020 Olympic Games didn't happen? Which makes it an anomaly of a game that simulates a sports event that didn't really happen. But yeah, that game had online play, but man, it was some of the worst online play I've ever seen. you had to individually like make or create a lobby for each sport and hope people would join your lobby as you were setting it up, or else you couldn't actually get people. It wouldn't search the internet for people. It would essentially just be an open lobby system where people had to manually join each lobby. It didn't sort connections at all. So you could have someone from across the globe with a red bar connection, someone with a green connection. You know what I mean? It was terrible. Like, they put zero effort into the online play of that game. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. It was like amateur night, you know? So for me, it's like, oh, Mario Party. But if there's no actual working multiplayer, what exactly am I buying Mario Party for? Because who am I playing it with, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell would I be playing it with? Here's what I think. If by the end of October, I'm wrapped up a lot of the playthroughs I'm doing, or we're getting to the end, I'll probably start Metroid Dread or something like that. Especially because, like you're saying, here's November. Call of Duty Vanguard is November 5th, and I'm very strongly considering just skipping it this year. Forza Horizon 5 is on November 9th. The rumor is that the Grand Theft Auto Remaster Collection will be the 11th. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 is the 12th, although I don't know if I'm playing it yet. Battlefield 2042 is the 19th. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is the 19th. And then Halo Infinite is December. So, yeah, you're right. That whole first week in November, there's really nothing. But that might be an opportunity to jump in and play like Metroid Dread or something like that I've been holding off on. Okay? You see? So, rather than buy Mario Party, which may not be great, and may have bad online play, maybe I'll play Metroid Dread instead. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear and we'll see, and we'll figure it out when we get to that. But I'm not writing off Mario Party and saying no. But certainly if there's no single-player campaign and if there's not robust online play with good matchmaking and everything, I see no reason to buy the game. Seems like it would be a waste of money for me. Okay? Fair enough? Chicken Man tipped another $1.50 and says, 2020 Olympics did happen. They pushed them to last August. That's right, but they weren't the 2020 Olympics, you see. They were 2021 Olympics. Even though they called them 2020, they weren't. They were the 2021 Olympics. And so the game exists and the Olympics didn't happen. It's pretty funny, actually. First time in history I think that's ever happened. Huh. Okay. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's the deal. That's what's going on, my friends. All right. Anyone else have anything else to talk about? Excuse me. Any questions? Any concerns? Any hot topics you'd like to discuss before we go on break? Because as you know, I take a brief break before I start streaming the game. I use the restroom myself. I recommend you grab a drink or a snack or use the restroom yourself for these few minutes that I'm on break. And we come back and we jump right in. Alan Wake Remastered continuing. Riders Republic by Ubisoft, end of October. Well, I know about this. That's the game where you're riding a bicycle, right? And I've seen that basically you could do like courses, but also it's outdoors as well. Like you could be riding down a mountain and shit. It's pretty crazy. The graphics look insane, but I don't know if that's my cup of tea. Like, would people really want to see me play that? And I don't know what the longevity of a game like that would be, you know? I'm not saying I don't want to do it. It does look unique, but would you guys be interested in that? I don't know. Duh. The new Halo Infinite Series X looks sick. I've seen pictures of it. I mean, to me, it looks all right. I don't know if it's necessarily like the best looking console ever or anything. Chicken Man to the $1.50, he says he can confirm Mario Party will not have a single player campaign, but it will have all modes online. And that 100% makes me skeptical. Like, ah, shit. Damn it. Oh, Jasper's in here. He's so silly. He's rubbing his head on my hand. Silly boy. Silly kitty. Where will the polls be for when I narrow down the Halloween Marathon games? Here on YouTube or the forums? Here on YouTube. I'm going to put it all as community posts, Local Nomad. There'll be a community post for the poll. That's the public poll. And then there'll be a members-only community post as well for the members. So everything will be community postings. No worries. Okay. All right, are we good? Are we good to go? I think what we will do is let's take a break. I'm actually going to use the restroom here. And I shall return after the break with some Alan Wake Remastered continuing on. How does that sound? I hope that sounds good to you. All right, my friends. Let's do it. I'll see you after the break. Sound good? All right. Thanks, guys, and see you in a bit.